All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, YouTube? We're back with your Tuesday edition. No NFL. We got nothing else going on but NHL front and center. We got a great contest tonight in the NHL streets over here on DraftKings and FanDuel. Again, if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, bringing you the pre-recorded shows each and every day that we have 5 or more games on the slate. We got 8 games here tonight to talk through. Great games, great slate overall. I'm recording this here Monday night. Just got done watching the Monday Night Football game there between the Chargers and the Cowboys there. Herbert, what a disaster way to finish that game there with Herbert. Cowboys pulled it out, but this is an NHL show. Again, it is brought to you by SHIPITNation.com. If you are not a member yet, head over to SHIPITNation.com. We have packages as low as $19 for a 5-day trial. No Discord is included in that, but get you behind the paywall, get you access to all of our premium content where you can check out all our core plays, our slate plans, our tools, projections, content, everything you need to have success with DFS, including today, I should say, is the NBA launch show where our guys are going to go on and talk about the NBA product that we have been working on that we're going to roll out. I think it's the best product in the industry coming up here. And if you do sign up for that $19 promo to check out all of our stuff, get you access to the newly DFS process, as we like to say here. 2-hour course going through everything you need to know about NBA DFS. Obviously includes the NFL one as well, if you have not seen that yet. So SHIPITNation.com, $19 gets you access to all of that. We do have month, 6-month, or yearly packages as well that will get you Discord access, which I highly suggest. The Discord is the best part of SHIPIT Nation over here as well. That's enough of that promo off the top. Let's jump in and look at the slate from a high-level overview. Again, my final content and project core plays, everything like that, our projections, things like that will be up on the site later on this afternoon as you're watching this back. And then also in the comment section, drop your favorite stacks, your favorite goalies, what you're looking at, your favorite kind of things to target that you're looking at on tonight's slate. Definitely helps us out a ton, the interaction in those comments. And we do look back at those for future giveaways right here on this channel. Looking at the slate from a 30,000 feet perspective here, some of the highest as it sits right now, Monday night, 11:30 p.m. here. Looking at some of the totals, the Hurricanes lead the slate right now in projected team totals, sitting right about 4.8. You got the Islanders closely behind, sitting right around 4 goals. Edmonton, Minnesota Wild, the Vancouver Canucks there. Tampa Bay Lightning shortly behind. And then obviously on the flip spectrum, some of the lowest teams on the slate in terms of implied goal totals. You got the Sharks, the Coyotes, Kraken, Stars, and Golden Knights all under 3 down there, along with the Canadians and the Predators, all implied to score under 3. Got 3 6.5 totals. We got a 7 total there in Tampa and Buffalo. Definitely a game you're going to want to target for DFS. You got a 5.5 total there in Dallas and Vegas, the kind of the nightcap on the slate. And then the rest are 6 totals. The Knights, or the Kings, the Jets, the Avs, the Kraken, and then the Hurricanes and the Sharks are all sitting at 6 as well, along with the Arizona and the Islanders there. Obviously, the Islanders pretty heavy favorites there. That's why their implied goal total is so high, second on the slate, actually, as it sits right now. Let's jump in and go game by game here. Little overview of just some tidbits that I like looking at this kind of first look show here for you guys. First game, Minnesota and Montreal here. Montreal at home, plus 129 home dogs here. 6.5 total. Minnesota coming off a pretty bad beating there in Toronto. Lost 7-4. They did blank Florida at home the first game of the season. Now they back-to-back road games here. They leave Toronto, head over to Montreal, kind of staying up in Canada there to face the Habs here. right now, as it's looking, it looks like Sam Montembeault, Monster Truck, is projected to be in net. He did have a 28 save win in the first game of the year against Chicago there at home. Now he comes back, faces Minnesota here. And for Minnesota, Marc-Andre Fleury looks to be the goalie here. He's had incredible success against Montreal in the past. So I'm actually on the Wild in this one. Not a road, not a huge huge guy on Montreal side in this game. I think Minnesota can match up well. I really like Eriksson Ek a ton. I talk about it all the time. Eriksson Ek, his line is very, very good defensively, one of the best defensive lines in hockey. And I typically like to play him more on the road because when he is at home, obviously they can dictate matchups much better on home ice. And Eriksson Ek is going to take the other line's top scoring line each and every single time he's on the ice, just the way it works. So when he's on the road, he gets a little bit more free reins. Obviously can't dictate matchups as much in their power there. So I love Eriksson Ek here at his price point, 6,200. He's had tremendous success against Montreal in the past as well. 2 goals in his last 2 games. Has 5 points. 5 points in those 2 games as well, looking at it here. Pretty good matchup. Centers have smashed Montreal over the last 5. One of the best matchups on the board. So I like Eriksson Ek at the discount there, or at his price point at 6,200. Also going to be on that top line or top power play, right there. Ryan Hartman, 4,900, I think is a fine, decent value play there, skating with Kirill the Thrill, Kaprizov, and Zuccarello. That line is a little expensive for my liking as a full stack, but you can grab a little mini stack there. Ryan Hartman, sub 5K in the same matchup, centers against Montreal. They've given up a ton of points over the last 5, looking at last 5 numbers to the center position. So that's kind of where I'm at in the Minnesota side. I like Minnesota too a little bit, but my main piece is kind of a one-off in Eriksson Ek. Obviously, you can play Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Zuccarello, each and every slate there, but not looking at too much more from the Minnesota side. On the Montreal side, don't love it a ton. I think Andre Fleury is a great goalie play on this slate here. He's going to see some shot volume overall on the road here. And I'm just looking at value plays for Montreal. The value that stands out to me, one of the best values on the entire slate, is Raphael Harvey-Pinard. Top line, isn't going to get really much power play time, but he's sub 3K, 2,900, back-to-back 8 and 12-point DraftKings games. Plays around 13 to 15 minutes a game. Had 3 shots on net his last time out. Not the greatest matchup, but 2,900 on the top line, seeing about 13 to 15 minutes. You can definitely do worse there. Suzuki is pretty cheap. Caulfield, I'll continue to play Cole Caulfield. I'm a huge Cole Caulfield guy. His price is still fair. So you could go back to the well there, but pretty much it's just Harvey-Pinard is a value play for me in this game from the Montreal side. And then another guy, Mike Matheson, 5,600 for the D-men. He's going to play 25 to 28 minutes. I mean, he's a minutes hog, very active on the ice. He had 4 shots on goal last game, 4 blocks as well. So gets that shot block bonus, which is big for the D-men. And he's 5,600, so a nice mid-tier guy. I like Mike Matheson quite a bit on this slate in terms of a mid-tier D-man in that sub 6K range. So that's kind of where I'm at in this first game. Again, I think Minnesota wins the game. I like Eriksson Ek the most, and you could definitely stack up the Wild, but I think there is better spots to target. But Wild do have one of the highest implied goal totals on the slate as well. So could definitely do worse than that. Next game on the slate here, we have the Arizona Coyotes here facing the New York Islanders. New York obviously at home. One of the biggest favorites on the slate, minus 192 at home. Sorokin is expected to be in net for the Islanders here. He's 8,400. Don't love paying all the way up to Sorokin, but he is an elite goalie. Obviously got the win first game. He started 26 save win there against Buffalo. Only saw 28 shots, saved 26 of them. Obviously let 2 slip past. I don't love paying up for it. Arizona's been actually pretty good to start the season here. That they played New York very tough last game, lost 1-2 or 2-1 there in New York, and then went into Jersey first game of the season and beat New Jersey, who's a very good hockey team, very good. They were very good last year. I expect them to be very good this year as well. So Arizona's playing pretty good hockey right now. If I went to the Arizona side, which I don't think anybody really goes to Arizona in this, being a plus 170 road dog here. New York's a very good defensive team, especially on home ice as well. Sorokin was very, very good at home last season as well. Expect that to continue here. But that Clayton Keller, Barrett Hayton, and Nick Schmaltz line would be my preferred. That top line, Clayton Keller has great history against New York Islanders as well. Has 2 goals in his last 2 games. He's going to play probably 21 to 23, 24 minutes. I get a ton of ice time out there. Barrett Hayton, 4,700. I was a huge Barrett Hayton guy last year, but he was definitely cheaper last season. Think he's still pretty reasonably priced here. 4,700 top line, top power play as well. And then Nick Schmaltz, 5K flat. Nick Schmaltz last time against New York played 20 minutes, had a shot on goal, 3 assists. So he's definitely involved in the scoring. And the nice thing, all 3 of those guys, top line and top power play together. So like those guys there. And then one value play from the Arizona side as well. Sean Durzi, this guy continues to do the job. 13 points in both of his first 2 games here, 13 against New Jersey, 13 against the Rangers. And in that Rangers game, he played 29 minutes, played 23 minutes the first game. So I'm expecting anywhere from 23 to 26, 27 minutes, somewhere in that range. And at 3,500 top line, top power play as well from a D-man, you can't really ask for more. So Sean Durzi, an elite value play on this slate, even in a script that they lose the game here. He can block shots. He had 3 blocks in his last game. And really at that price point, you get the shot block bonus in terms of DraftKings scoring for D-men. You're sitting pretty good. So I do like that quite a bit. On the Islanders side, Islanders have one of the highest implied goal totals on the slate. To be honest with you, I don't love it. Coyotes were very good on the road last season. Obviously, just on the road, held New York to only 2 goals in New York, a very good hockey team, very high-powered offense there for the Rangers. And then same thing, Jersey. Held Jersey to 3 goals at home in New Jersey. So they're a pretty good defensive hockey team on the road. I typically like targeting Arizona when they play in Arizona in that small arena there. So I don't love the Islanders too much. Just looking at a couple guys for the Islanders that stand out to me. Bo Horvat, Noah Dobson, and Barzal would be kind of the 3-man stack I would look at if I was playing the Islanders. I'm probably going to be off the Islanders here. I think they're going to pick up ownership. It is only a 6 implied total in this game. And obviously they're massive home favorites here, minus 192. So that's why their implied goal total is sitting so high. But don't love it personally in this one. Obviously, 8 games on the slate, can't play everyone. Probably going to be underweight on the Islanders for sure, and this game in general. And hope it's like a 2-1, 3-1 type game. Personally, is where I'm looking. Next game on the slate, we have to talk about it. It's the highest total on the slate. It's Tampa. It's Buffalo. These teams, when they play, typically is a track meet. 8 goals in their last appearance, 11 goals before that, and 11 goals before that last season. 11, 11, and 8. I mean, you have to expect goals in this game. That's why the total's sitting at 7 right now. Basically a pick 'em as it sits right now, Monday night, minus 110 each. I love Tampa in this one on the road here. I just think Tampa is very, very high powered. Got beat down pretty good last game in Ottawa there. Got beat down the game before that in Detroit. They need to pick up a road win here. No better spot to do it than against the Sabres here. Sabres just very, very leaky. They're the second worst team on home ice last season in terms of goals allowed. The worst penalty kill in the league last season as well. And you put that Tampa power play, that power play 1, which is my favorite target in this game. Victor Hedman is definitely an elite D-man. I'll talk about that in a second here, but I love Tampa, top power play. I just think it's a great matchup for them. Highest total on the slate. They're going to get ownership. I just don't really care. Nikita Kucherov's kind of going to be my focal point. Obviously, the best player on the team. He's 8,400. You see the McDavids of the world and those guys up near 10K. You can argue you're getting a discount here for Nikita Kucherov, who has very similar upside to a lot of those guys that are priced up over 9K here. So I like him. Braden Point, obviously, 8K, little expensive, but he's smashed Buffalo in his past. Has 1, 2, 4. He's got 5 goals in his last 4 games against Buffalo. So Braden Point at 8K, I like him quite a bit. Again, on that top line, top power play. Victor Hedman is a great D-man on this slate. He's hasn't gotten under 11 DraftKings points all season long. Going to play probably 23 to 25, 26 minutes, somewhere in that range. Centers that top power play as well, kind of the quarterback there on the power play. So I like him quite a bit at 6,300. And then Brandon Hagel, the other guy, rounds out that top line, top power play stack. 5,100, you can definitely add him in there. He's going to play over 20 minutes, right around 20 minutes as well. So 5,100, nice little value play, makes the stack a little bit cheaper as well. One other value guy that is slated, let me just double check something, because he's slated to be on the top power play as well right now. It's Nicholas Paul. I just want to double check and make sure I'm seeing that. Yeah, so Nick Paul, he's 4,400. He's on that top power play in a good power play matchup here. He's 4,400, skates third line in terms of full strength, but played 12 minutes there in Ottawa, played 20 minutes in Detroit, and 16 minutes the first game of the year against Nashville. He's pretty active, which I like to see out there. So I do think Nick Paul is a fine value play to throw in your power play stacks there as well for Tampa. Obviously, in a 7 total, you got to talk about the other side as well. Buffalo. Don't love Buffalo as much as I like Tampa. Tampa was pretty good last season on the road. One of the best teams in terms of defense and expected goals. Looking at that, but Tage Thompson can score with the best of them. Has been held pretty quiet to start the season here. That's not going to hold on for forever. He's had great success against Tampa in his past as well. Going to probably play close to 20 minutes, if not more. He's got 5 goals in his last 3 games, including a hat trick in Tampa. So I do like Tage Thompson. Obviously, it is expensive, 8,200, but you know what you're getting. This guy's got multiple goal upside each and every time he takes the ice. I like Jeff Skinner quite a bit as well. I don't like Alex Tuch quite as much. He hasn't had the greatest success against Tampa overall. Hasn't been that great to start the season. Just 3 shots on goal through 2 games. I like to see him a lot more active personally. I like Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner has very good success against Buffalo as well in his past. Top line, top power play, 6,300 for him. Pretty good price point. And then the other guy for Buffalo that I'm also looking at is Dylan Cousins. Second line center, top power play, skates up with the big dogs there. He's had pretty good success, and he's just 5,400. Get you a little bit different. You could do like a Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, and Skinner stack, and use 2 centers in the same stack. That's definitely a way to be unique there. But personally, my interest mainly lies with the Tampa side, personally in that one. Next game on the slate we're looking at is Edmonton and the Nashville Predators. Nashville at home here. Home dogs plus 130. Edmonton minus 147 road favorites here, which Edmonton starting the year 0-2. Got absolutely piss-pounded by Vancouver in Vancouver to start the year 8-1. And then lost at home to the same Vancouver team 4-3. So Edmonton, got to expect them to be hungry here coming into Nashville now. Back into the States, into the U.S., out from Canada to take on Nashville here on Forsberg Tuesday. That's right, you heard it, Forsberg Tuesday. It's an incredible bit, but if you look up his numbers, I mean, the guy's career is literally made on Tuesdays for whatever reason. This guy gets out for Tuesday, so obviously you have to have interest in Forsberg on tonight on a Tuesday. But I expect Edmonton to be pretty hungry here. I don't love the price points, but Connor McDavid, I mean, you know the drill with this guy, 9,800. He's smashed Nashville in his past. I mean, he has 3 goals in his last 3 games against them, 2 assists in the last game, 3 assists the game before that. So he's going to play over 20 minutes. It's good if he gets on that power play. Obviously, Edmonton has the best power play in the league. At least they did last season. Nashville is pretty good on the penalty kill, pretty good defensive team in general on home ice. So don't love the price points too much on Edmonton. Personally, I like other spots better on the slate. But when you factor in, they started this year 0-2, got smoked by Vancouver, both games, basically. You have to expect McDavid and Leon and the boys are going to get the ship back together here and want to make a statement here. I just don't like the price points too much from a DFS perspective, but couldn't fault anyone for going to Edmonton. You can play McDavid, Leon, Hyman, those guys. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would be my preferred guy on Edmonton just at the price point, but you can play those guys each and every slate here. On the Nashville side, Phil Forsberg, 6,700. He's been good to start the year as well. 6 shots on net his first night, 5 shots on net, and then 3 shots on goal the last game, playing over 20 minutes in each game. You gotta like Forsberg on a Tuesday here. I like him personally. I think he's a good play. Ryan O'Reilly, newly acquired in Nashville this year. Don't love him a ton at his price point, $5,900. I wish he was cheaper. He just doesn't do a ton. Personally, did score a goal in that first game there, but 2 shots on goal last game. Played 21 minutes. Wasn't really involved in anything there against Boston. So not a ton of interest in him. Personally, it's just a Forsberg one-off or a Roman Josi. Obviously, you can play Roman Josi each and every slate. He's 7,400, one of the best D-men in the league, always has immense upside. He hasn't been that great to start the year. Hasn't been as active as I thought. Finally, last game, had 5 shots on goal, which has typically been a standard last season from Josi. You just see this guy firing the puck. Hasn't been the case to start the year outside of last game, so maybe he found something there. But overall, I'm kind of under on this game personally. I think it plays a little bit slower. And we see like a 3-2 style game. And at these price points, that's not going to be enough. My favorite play is definitely Phil Forsberg one-off in this game personally. Couple games left. Now we're heading to Winnipeg here to look at the Kings versus the Jets. Again, Jets home favorite here, -125. Jets have a pretty good implied goal total, pretty good value plays as well, pretty good price points. But the Kings, you can definitely attack the Kings on away ice. I like the Kings a lot more on home ice. They're very good defensively at home, but that's definitely changed on the road. Looking at last year's numbers, allowed over 3.5 goals per game on the road. Power play or penalty kill was subs 80%, sitting right around 76%. So you could look at some of these Winnipeg Jets personally here in this game. I think they definitely make some sense overall. Kyle Connor, I continue to bring it up, dropped 40 spot last game against Florida. This guy's severely underrated, never gets the credit he deserves. He's an elite wing in this league. 7,300, pretty good price point for him. I don't mind that. Mark Scheifele and Vilardi there, that top line for Winnipeg, firmly in play for me here at home. Like the top line quite a bit for the Jets personally. I think you can go down into some of these cheaper lines for the Jets as well. The Nino Niederreiter, 4,200. Don't love that price point for him. I actually like the third line a little bit here for the Jets personally as a value play. Adam Lowry, I follow, and Mason Appleton. Mason Appleton, 2,800, scored a goal last game against Florida. He's played 13 and 16 minutes, so he's going to get anywhere from 13 to 15 minutes, somewhere in that range. He's 2,800. But overall, that third line for Winnipeg is one of the best value lines, in my opinion, on the slate. So definitely don't sleep on Winnipeg 3 in this one. From the Kings aspect, I don't love the Kings a ton here. I like Hellebuck quite a bit in that. Hellebuck's a great goalie at home. Winnipeg was very, very good on home ice. 4th best team in the league last year on home ice in terms of allowing goals. So kind of fading the Kings in this one. Don't really want to pick off anyone against Winnipeg in this one. I think Winnipeg wins this game. I think it's a 4-1 style game. Maybe the Kings pot one or two. But overall, I think Winnipeg controls the game for sure in terms of DFS purposes. Next game, we have Colorado and Seattle. Looking at this one, the Avs -148 road favorites here against Seattle. 6 total. Kraken obviously +132 here at home. You got Georgiev in net for Colorado, and then Grubauer had 34 saves or 32 saves last game against Nashville. Gave up 2 goals, obviously, but that's what you're looking for in terms of goalies. You're looking for goalies that are going to have shot volume. Now, I'd like to see Colorado. You have to expect they're going to fire the puck. Their numbers are definitely obsolete from last season due to all the injuries that they faced. So when you're looking at last season numbers, definitely taking it with a grain of salt for Colorado because of all their injuries. Colorado starts and ends with Nathan McKinnon, 9,500 discount off of Connor McDavid, 29 in his first game, 27 last game. 27 points last game was with no goals. He's had great success against Seattle. If you can afford him, he's a great play each and every time he's on the slate. You get Drouin there as a little bit of value in that stack. And then obviously Mikko Rantanen at 7,800, who's had incredible success as well against Seattle. So top line, definitely in play for me for Colorado. I like them quite a bit. Cale Makar, one of the best D-men on the slate. I much prefer Cale Makar over Roman Josi, at least at this point in the season. Makar played 28 minutes his last game, 22 minutes his first game, had five shots on goal both games. So I do like Cale Makar. Hasn't had the greatest success against Seattle, but definitely like adding him to that stack there. And then Lakonen would be the value guy I'd throw in there as well alongside Drouin. He's 5,200, going to skate on that second line, top power play. And the Avs had the fourth best power play in the league. And Kraken last season at home had a sub 80% penalty kill. So do think if the Avs get on the power play here, they can definitely score a couple goals. So would target Colorado power play 1 personally for me is where I'm looking. On the Kraken side, I think you could get some value from the Kraken. Colorado, again, was pretty weak defensively on the road last season. Take it with a grain of salt. They dealt with a lot of injuries all year long, so that definitely hurts that. Kind of looking at some of these Kraken, I don't love a lot of the thing with the Kraken is it's just tough to find out where the scoring is going to come from. They got a lot of they move their lines around, shift their lines around as well. So don't love the Kraken too much. Jordan Eberle would be probably my preferred top line, top power play at just 4,200. That's a pretty nice price point there on him. Pretty cheap. And then Yanni Gourde. I like Yanni Gourde at home. 3,500 third line center there. He's had good success against Colorado, so I think he makes some sense. But overall, it's kind of Colorado or pass for me in this one, which I think is the chalky way to go about it. But there's 8 games. There's plenty of ways to get different in the NHL DFS. And you got Edmonton, you got other big dogs on the slate, Tampa, things like that are going to draw ownership, Vegas, Dallas, Carolina, other teams. So don't need to worry about it too much. Speaking of Carolina, that's where we're going next. We're going to the Carolina-San Jose game in San Jose. Carolina, minus 288 road favorites here, biggest favorite on the entire slate, and they're on the road. Carolina just got beat down pretty good in Anaheim, 6-3. Obviously won their home opener there against Ottawa, 5-3, game 1 here. Now I'll head out to San Jose to face the Sharks, who were the third worst home defense in the league last season. Obviously, Sharks traded a bunch of their guys away, Erik Karlsson, Timo Meier, and kind of went into rebuilding mode here. Started their 0-2 on the year. Carolina, you have to expect Carolina to come into here hungry after losing to Anaheim. Not just losing, getting punched in the mouth pretty good to Anaheim. So I expect Carolina to come in here hungry. They're going to get a lot of ownership. The thing you run into with Carolina all the time is line roulette, right? You don't know who's going to score. They have very, very strong lines up and down, very deep, and they can score. All the lines can score. Sebastian Aho, 7,100. He's crushed San Jose in his past, so I don't mind him. Top line, top power play. Obviously, he's skating with Jarvis and Michael Bunting there. So the top line is in play there. Seth Jarvis, 6,200. Don't love his price point personally. So I'm a little bit under on Seth Jarvis there personally. Jordan Staal, I like playing Jordan Staal a lot more at home. So I think Carolina, too, makes some sense here. Martin Akes, Turbo Teravainen, and Kakanemi would definitely be my preference. I love that Carolina second line personally. One of the best lines, in my opinion, on the slate. Just at their price points, I like second lines more on the road personally. Typically draw a little bit better matchup in terms of scoring. And these guys got pretty nice price points. Tuvo Teravainen, 4,100. He's 10 and 22 DraftKings points in his first 2 games. Martin Akes there as well as a stack mate. And then Kakanemi. So give me Carolina too in this one. I like them quite a bit. On the Sharks side, Carolina was pretty leaky last year to on the road personally. Just looking at Freddie Anderson, I call him Swiss cheese. You can definitely score on him. I wouldn't have any interest on this slate at $8,500 Freddie Anderson. Just no reason to play him. Mackenzie Blackwood at 6,700, I think is a fine punt option. It's a home goalie, 6,700, sub 7K. You know he's going to get shot volume against him. I think he's actually a pretty good goalie personally. Last game, he had 43 saves against Carolina and scored 21 DraftKings points, and he gave up 4 goals. So when you're punting a goalie on DraftKings, that's what you're looking at. So Mackenzie Blackwood, I think, is definitely in play for a punt goalie because Carolina is going to fire the puck. And he can definitely save even if he lets a couple up. But no offensive pieces for me from the Sharks. I like Carolina quite a bit, much like everyone else will on this slate. But I think I'm going to be a little different going to Carolina too and fade in that top line there, the Sebastian Aho line. Again, last game of the slate here, we have the Stars and Vegas. 5.5 total here, lowest total on the slate. Vegas at home can dictate matchups here. Dallas, typically a defensive first hockey team. Jack Eichel has been absolutely electric to start the year. Have to have interest in him at sub 8K. I mean, 20, 17, 31 DraftKings points. He had 8 shots on net, 6 shots on net the game before that, and 3. I'm going to play 20 to 22 minutes probably. Pretty good matchup against centers against Dallas. So have to have interest in Jack Eichel, and definitely as a one-off would be my preference. I don't really like stacking a 5.5 total here. It's going to be unique, but Dallas actually on the road last season was the 5th worst road defense in terms of goals allowed overall. So you could see some of these nights score a few goals. Personally, Ottinger got blanked, got smoked last game, gave up 6 goals against Vegas last game. 2 good starts the game, 2 games before that. So I think Jack Eichel is my favorite play in this game personally overall. Nicholas Roy, don't really want to deal with him, but I guess you could do worse at 3,100. So he'd be a fine value play. 4th line, going to get some power play time. He's just 3,100. William Karlsson, 3rd line center at home, 2nd power play, 4K flat for him. It's a good, decent matchup, centers against Dallas, so don't hate him. But overall, it's pretty much Jack Eichel or pass for me in this last game. That's a lot. I know I talked a little bit longer, sitting right about 30 minutes, but wanted to go in depth in some of these plays that I'm looking at actually first glance here as I'm doing this Monday night for you guys. Again, if you guys are new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop in the comments your favorite thing about these shows, NHL content, whatever it might be. Definitely look back at those. That's going to do it though for this breakdown. Again, anything you like to see going forward in these shows, it's a one-man booth here, myself covering NHL for SHIPIT Nation. Drop it in the comments. I'll take a look at them, see what I can incorporate for you guys. Make this the best and most useful kind of quick hit video for you to encompass with our tools over here at SHIPIT Nation, my slate plan, core plays, matchup sheet, and projections personally. So that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys have a great Tuesday. Good luck in your contest. And for myself, Nades will catch you guys on Thursday. Good luck, y'all.